Why is it that when workers finally find the courage to demand dignity, they are met with deafening silence from the very leaders who claim to champion their cause? Angela Rayner's visit to Birmingham last week was more than just a misstep. It was a glaring betrayal. The Deputy Prime Minister, heralded as a working-class voice in the highest echelons of power, failed the very people she once claimed to represent. Bin workers, out on strike for 12 weeks, knee-deep in the debris of political indifference, have been left twisting in the wind. Not only did Rayner fail to meet with them, she compounded the insult by urging them to accept the offer laid out by the council, as though the mere existence of a proposal equates to fairness or finality. This isn't leadership. This is performance politics. Let's be clear, these workers didn't ask for this standoff. They didn't orchestrate 21,000 tons of rotting waste to inconvenience their neighbors. They've been pushed to the brink by a council imposing pay cuts and a government more concerned with optics than outcomes. And now, in a tone-deaf display of detachment, the Deputy Prime Minister parachutes into Britain's second city, avoids all contact with the striking workers, and proceeds to tell them how they should feel about an offer they had no real hand in shaping. This isn't just insulting, it's cowardice dressed up as diplomacy. Luke Dalton, speaking for the Unite Union, expressed what many of us already suspected. This government isn't interested in resolving the issue, only in quelling the noise. Rayner's statement reeks of political expediency, an attempt to appear decisive while staying comfortably above the fray. But refusing to meet the strikers? That's not statesmanship. That's abandonment. If Rayner truly believed in the power of negotiation, she'd be sitting with these workers, listening, engaging, advocating. Instead, she acts as a megaphone for the council's half-measure of a deal, one that, by all accounts, is incomplete and presented without the presence of key decision-makers. How can workers make informed decisions when they are being offered a jigsaw puzzle with half the pieces missing? The truth is stark. Politicians across the spectrum have grown far too comfortable with telling working people to accept less. Less pay, less security, less respect. And when those people dare to resist, they are accused of causing misery and disruption. But the real misery is not 12 weeks of uncollected bins. It's years of erosion in wages, working conditions, and representation. The real disruption is a political class that has forgotten who it's meant to serve. Rayner's rhetoric is especially disappointing because it signals a deeper rot within Labour's upper ranks. This is a party that was built from the ground up by trade unionists, by fighters, by people who understood that solidarity isn't a slogan, it's a duty. To see a Labour Deputy Prime Minister turn her back on workers mid-strike is more than symbolic. It's a rupture. It sends a clear message that political convenience now trumps working-class solidarity. Dalton's frustration is justified. He speaks not only for his colleagues but for a broader swath of workers who feel abandoned by a government that pays lip service to justice while allowing injustice to fester. These bin workers, many of whom live in the same communities affected by the strike, aren't villains. They are victims of a system that demands their obedience but ignores their voices. Rayner has the power and the platform to change the narrative. But instead of standing on the picket lines, she stood behind the podium. Instead of bridging the gap between council leaders and workers, she widened it. Her plea for the strike to end wasn't a call for peace, it was a demand for surrender. And here's the crux of it. Workers cannot, and should not, be expected to accept crumbs when they are owed bread. This strike is not just about loaders or waste collection. It is about respect, negotiation with integrity, and the right to be heard without being patronized. If Rayner wants to be taken seriously as a leader, she must do more than echo the sanitized statements of local councils. She must show up. She must speak with, not at, those who have every reason to distrust the system that's failed them. She must stop using proximity to power as an excuse to ignore the powerless. Anything less, and she becomes just another name in the long list of politicians who forgot their roots the moment they reached the treetops. The workers of Birmingham deserve more than platitudes. They deserve justice. And it's high time the people who claim to represent them started acting like it.